Hey everyone, we're here at Seattle Coffee Gear. I'm Pat, and this is Allie, and we are having a little bit of AKA coffee, one of our newest roasters.
Yeah, so I've got the FTW blend here. Is this their house blend?
This is their house blend. This is their signature blend, and it's a very much a like jack of all trades. It works as a drip brew, as a pour over, as a press, as a espresso. It's like your classic house blend.
Yeah,
it's just good
works for everything.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Have you tried it in a couple different ways, or?
I have tried it as a drip brew, as a pour over, and in a super auto. Actually,
really?
It's quite good in a super auto. Super autos generally do really well with coffees that have kind of simple flavors.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because they do tend to compress flavors down into like a very
baseline.
I would never say super auto coffee all tastes the same, because part of what's fun about super autos is you can try different whole beans. But similar to the way that like semi-automatic espresso machines tend to really like extract specific flavors, super autos tend to do the same thing. And this one's pretty good in a super auto.
Yeah, typically I do recommend like stuff with like chocolatey notes or things like that, because I feel like that's what they do best. So that's interesting. What are the notes on this one?
And this one has balanced flavors of caramel and nuts. Which is a fun one, because like it definitely has nutty notes, but it's kind of like, I can see why they just said nuts instead of a specific like
type of
cashew or almond, because it does kind of taste like, it's kind of like a candy bar, like without, not quite as sweet as you would get out of a candy bar, but it has a very like nutty caramelly profile. So I get
interesting.
Those notes.
It's like the inside of the candy bar without the chocolate, with the chocolate.
I mean, it's a little bit chocolatey, but it's super balanced.
Okay.
And it's generally pretty mild flavored from when I've had it, not too intense, which is part of why it works in so many different brew methods, because the notes are kind of spread out across the palate.
Yeah, and I'm just doing a standard recipe. I think I did 21 grams in, 320 out, and then I just did a simple like 40-gram bloom for 30 seconds, 2 separate pours. Yeah, so. Nothing really fancy going on in the actual brewing here.
Allie used a timer. I never used a timer.
No?
No, I never use a timer. I just count in my head.
Really?
Yeah.
I use it because it like helps me keep on track, especially when I'm like talking or something.
Well, you've brewed pour over professionally before,
so
that's the difference. When I was working in coffee shops, it was before pour over
had like taken off.
Yeah, so we didn't even have it on the menu.
Really?
We just made espresso drinks, basically.
Yeah. The first time I tried to make a pour over, it's kind of embarrassing, actually. I used like all of the wrong things and just had like this wide tip kettle, and just like dump the water in. I'm like, this doesn't taste like it does in the coffee shop.
So I did, prior to working here, I worked in an office, and we got really into pour over as it started to like take off. And we actually like did like team building exercises where we would roast coffee together and stuff. And I was terrified of making the coffee, because I had no idea how pour over worked, and I didn't understand the ratios well.
Yeah.
So because all I really knew was how to make, I could steam milk pretty well and make espresso drinks, but pour over was a whole nother.
That's so funny.
I was like, no, you just use a tablespoon per cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So brewing by volume and weight was like a big change for me.
But most people start out that way, right? You start out getting interested in coffee. Everybody doesn't know what they're doing at first, and so that's why we're here, to help you not make the same mistakes.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So AKA is based in Oakland, California. They have been in the prior to being AKA, they were actually called Supersonic Coffee, and they were based in Berkeley at that point.
And they changed their name so they could open cafes, right?
Yeah, so they wanted to open cafes, and I believe just like retail locations to sell coffee too.
Cool.
But you may or may not know, there is a large chain of restaurants that have a similar name to, not quite the same, but a similar name to Supersonic Coffee. So it was a bit of a roadblock for them, so they changed their name because of that.
Interesting, yeah.
And that's where the AKA comes from, because they're also known as.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. I had no idea that was why.
Yeah, so it's a fun story how they got their name.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel really dumb, actually, for not knowing that's why they were called that. Anyway, Sips Coffee. It's very, how do you describe it? Like
It's a cup of coffee.
dark chocolate is what I get.
I mean, it's like it's what's good about it. I think is that there's a lot of time. I know a lot of people personally. I think everybody who likes specialty coffee does, who will respond like, "Well, I just buy cans of Folgers from the store, and that's fine." Or whatever grocery store brand you have access to.
Yeah.
And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that if that's like the way you should drink coffee, the way you like to drink it. That's
of course.
the key. But this is a great kind of coffee to sort of
see what else is out there.
Yeah, to kind of to show to someone like, hey, look, this is a pretty simple flavor profile. It's probably similar in profile to what you're getting at the grocery store.
Yeah.
But it's just got a little bit extra. Like it's a little bit more developed and a little bit more, just a little more
refined
flavorful.
flavors. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that too. Like it definitely has like a traditional coffee flavor. Like this isn't something I pick up and I'm like, oh wow, this crazy note. But it's something that I'm like, this is really good.
It's very
drinkable.
reliable.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's easy to brew too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Because if you ever get these like crazy coffees, you're trying to pull out this particular note, it can get kind of crazy, right?
Yeah. Whereas this is something you can kind of, I mean, I haven't dialed it in as an espresso, but I'm assuming it'd be pretty easy to dial in.
Yeah.
And just sort of a good standby blend to always have available too.
Yeah. And I always think, like, this might be weird, but when I think of coffees like this, I always think of, like, drinking it with my breakfast, right? Like, or something you'd sit down in the morning, and it's just a really approachable blend.
Yeah,
I
totally,
think so.
totally. And we do have a couple other of their roasts. We have their Kindred blend, which is a Latin American blend.
Yeah.
That's quite good.
I really like that one.
It's very interesting. And then we also have one or two of their single origins too. And that stuff will rotate too as we get things from them, just like everybody else.
Definitely. But they are our newest roaster, and we're really excited to have them. They should be opening their first location pretty soon, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, they're planning on opening, I think it's this year.
They said early
location
2020.
in the East Bay. I think it's in Oakland.
Yeah.
And
the market, something like that.
So if you're in that area, you can check them out yourself.
Definitely.
And if not, we're excited to be able to
offer
send you their coffee no matter where you are in the country.
Yeah, definitely. And they should be at some of our retail stores too if you're locally. They're definitely going to carry some of them. Fun new roaster, definitely cool to try out. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below.
Yeah.
Have a good day.